Jamie from Inky&Scrappy back with this week's Let's Start Stamping series. How much stamping we're going to do? A little bit. We're kind of going to play on, I think it was last week's, right? Was last week's yeah, it was. Okay. Which one is it? The I Bite cat from Unity is what we did last week. Kind of like, I want to recreate part of that, like the ink running but with like leaves. So I dug through my stash. This is an old one. It is from Close to My Heart, which is no longer in business, but really I just wanted some solid colored leaves. I'm thinking, you know, a heavier outlined leaf might work. You might have to do a little filling in. I'm just hoping to use that and kind of make it work. We'll see how it goes. I haven't done it yet, so if it works, it works. If it doesn't, I guess we scrap it and we go to pattern paper. It, you know, it happens. Life happens. It's all good. But for this one, I am bringing in Lawn Fawn's Build a Drink Mason Jar add-on, and if you don't have it, it's fine. Use like a coffee cup die, anything like that would work. Even just the stamp set, thanks a latte, you just won't be able to do the shaker portion of it, which I want to do today. I did pull out this set. We might use this one for something. I haven't decided. I also brought in the treat cart, but I wanted I have the add-on too, so it's the latte add-on. Here we go. The coffee add-on and the tiny coffee sentiments. I'm thinking we're gonna use this set out of them all, but all of these are some great options. So if you don't have, you know, if you don't want to do the shaker or the mason die, use the treat cart as your focal point and we'll work from there. But I will tell you this, and then of course I'm using some mixed media paper from Scrapbook.com as well again this week. We will get to that in a little bit, but if you want to follow along, I'm going to tell you what you need and then you pause the video and go die cut a bunch of stuff, because the die cutting takes a long time for this type of stuff. It is what it is, right? So from the die, I did the solid one. I did it in, acetate that you see here. To cut acetate, for me, the easiest way to cut acetate is making sure I put a heavy cardstock behind it, and then it'll cut out the first time. I usually do run it through twice, just to make sure that it makes the solid cut. Usually it cuts through this piece. It doesn't always cut through the bottom piece, but I wanted the bottom piece as well, so I ran it through twice just to make sure. I picked a pattern paper from, I was gonna use the Lawn Fawn. Well, this one is probably, might end up being my background, right? The Lawn Fawn's, I think it's Apple Cider paper. I just love the color scheme, but it matches almost exactly to the Pumpkin Spice by Doodle paper pad. And so I brought in, I had scraps, right? So I had a scrap of that one, and so I just put it at an angle a little bit to get my straw. It's more than likely going to be an iced beverage today. I haven't really decided. If I don't use it, I guess I shared that for nothing, right? And then of course I took the inside of one of my cutouts and die cut some other pieces, the little bow, the little string, and the little tag. And of course I did this one as well. So you can always do a dual tag, or you can put an accent on your tag. I haven't decided. Can I say I haven't decided what I'm doing with it yet? I am going to grab, before I forget, look at what I found at the Dollar General. They were $1. They're in the bathroom, I don't know, decor department. It's called the bathroom tray. They have them in clear and then this gray. So of course I may have cleaned out our local one, you know, because I was looking at them. I've been looking at them for a while, and I think they run like minimum $3 a pop, $3 or $4 a pop on Scrapbook.com. Even on sale. Well, I'm telling you on sale, because I wouldn't buy them regular price from, you know, that's just how I roll. But that being said, if you're looking for a nice little holding tray for die cuts for card making, these are it. They stack nicely, and so I am excited to have a stash in my craft room now. Anyways, okay, So I have those pieces. I'm gonna try to put everything on my thing so I don't lose it. Ha 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 ha. As I lose all of the pieces. Okay, so I have that one, and then of course for this one and this one. So for my top layer, I cut them with some iridescent cardstock. I don't know if you can really see that it's iridescent. You could definitely do like a light blue or like the lighter teal color in there. So I cut those out. Of course, I, left it together. So I got the little heart too that I can hand color with an alcohol marker. But this piece, this is the one that you're going to cut a whole lot of, right? So this one, I don't know how many I cut. 1, 2, usually about 6 is a pretty good well if you have really heavy paper. Let me weed out the middle pieces. So the middle pieces are essentially not going to be used, right? So if you want to die cut other things, a lot of times I'll save those for other die cut things just because I don't know. I like to use all of my paper scraps. But these ones, we're going to end up popping out all of this stuff and then we're going to glue them together. So I would encourage you at this point to just stop the video, go and do all your die cutting and then come back, because I didn't do it on camera because it's just one of those like time consuming things. It's kind of, I don't know. Can I say it's semi-relaxing? I don't know if I find it as relaxing as Jennifer McGuire finds die cutting things relaxing. I applaud her. I mean, I get it, okay? It's like a repetitive movement and you're just back and forth with the die cuts, right? Sometimes I like die cutting. Sometimes it's just a lot of work. As is weeding all the die cuts. If you take an in-person class with me, I don't weed my die cuts for my students. I figure I did all the die cutting. The least they can do is weed their own die cuts. I know. I mean, what can I say? This is nothing new. Okay. Garbage. All right. So I think I walked you through the parts that you'll need for this part for the most part. Let's get some of these pieces out of the way. I haven't exactly decided how I'm building my card yet. I haven't decided what I'm putting in my shaker mix, so let me think on that one. I do have some coffee beans. Okay, shaker mix. I did have coffee beans. I did find said coffee beans. These I ordered off of Etsy. It's a 300 pack. I probably won't put too many of those in there because it's a shaker mix. I made my own shaker mix for coffee a few years ago, and so this has just got like brown sequins, some custom colored glitter. So the rock candy glitter from Ranger mixed with a latte alcohol ink, and I just put a couple of drops. You put like them in a plastic cup with a little stir stick and you just stir them until it's like colored. So I put those in there. There's some chunky glitter in here and some brown tortoise shell seed beads in there as well to kind of give me a good shaker mix. We may have done a latte card back a few years ago. The other thing you can put in there is brown clay hearts. They kind of are really cute in place of either coffee beans or of course the shaker mix. I always like to put seed beads in, or the other option is the diamond dots, like the little brown ones. It helps make things move a little bit more. I hope that makes sense. But this one might be a little bit longer today. I'm going to apologize in advance because it is what it is. So for this one to start, we're going to do the shaker again. We've done this before. If you are new to shakers, go watch my intro to shakers. I think we did shakers three ways. It is in 2 separate videos. The first one we kind of hit on all 3 shaker types, or the 3 shaker types that I did. There's probably more. And then of course the second one was like applying them to an actual card. And so I think we did a beer mug on that one. So similar in design, right? Now, if I would have die cut these, if I'd have thought about it, I probably would have done my shiny one with adhesive back on there. They make die cut double-sided adhesive sheets that you just put one sheet, you know, one sheet sticks. I can't talk today. Sticks to your piece of paper, and then you just run it through the die cut machine, and then you just peel it, and then you can stick this, and it would, you know, it makes life a little bit easier. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so I'm gonna put this one in here. Okay, so I have my piece of acetate on there. It is going to be dry at this point, so, you know, put this under a block if you want to make it dry. You don't have to do this right away. I'm doing it now so I don't forget to do it. I'm just going to take my really sharp scissors and slit a little slit in there. You can also use like the little blade type. It's a blade pen, or the little, let me see if I can grab it here. Maybe. Those little blades work well too. Whatever you have, the scissors is probably, you know, on hand and ready to go. So I am gonna try to use my reverse tweezers here and try to make that hole just a little bit more open. Just for, you know, true clarifications. Yes, I recorded this. It didn't work very well. I cut my straw and had to start over. So it's not as long as it's supposed to be, but I'm not recutting it. I'm calling it good and just dealing with it. So sometimes in life we just, you know, we get over ourselves. I'm gonna just cut it off and call it good. Okay, so I have that one in there. I'm not going to glue it down yet. I haven't decided if I should glue it onto my back piece or leave it on the top piece. I don't know. It's one of those, but I want it on here, so it's going to be in my card, and then this one will kind of go back behind the other ones. I hope that makes sense. So this part is done. Actually, I can probably put a dot of glue back here, just so it keeps that angle. I'm not really worried about the rest per se at this point. So that part is done. Now we're going to come to all of those, and we're going to start layering. So for these, I usually just use glue. Feel, you know, if you want to do the covering your whole sheet with double-sided, I'm trying to think of the name of it. I think it's called Crafty Couture or something like that. They have die cut, I mean score style tape works too, right? But you're gonna waste a lot of adhesive, so that's why for these ones I don't, but they do come in handy. You could also do really thin foam strips here if you wanted to. The 1/8 inch ones are probably sized okay for this, but it's a really tight fit, and that's why I usually, for this one, I kind of choose to go with the stacked layers. Keep in mind, depending upon what your mix is, if it's just a little bit of glitter, you probably don't need as many layers. I like to do, what do I have here? I have 7 layers. I was gonna say, a lot of times I like to do 6 to 8, just because it gives me a deep enough well for my shaker bits to kind of sit. So I just keep stacking. Feel free, if you have a heavy block, to set that heavy block on top. You can do a couple. A lot of times I'll glue together 2 at a time. So I'll do sets of 2, and then I'll take those sets of 2 and glue them together, and then I'll glue, you know, just to kind of give me a little bit of dry time in between. So I'll do 3 on this one and 3 on the other one. But with glue you can line it up a little bit easier. I find with the double-sided stick tape, you have to be a little bit more accurate right away, and so my accuracy is not always the greatest. I like to have that little bit of wiggle room that the liquid adhesive allows me. I still prefer the glitter art glue over the barely art glue, only because the dry time on the glitter art glue to me is a little bit faster. So if you like more time, definitely barely art glue will give you a little bit more time than the glitter art glue. I'm just trying to pick up any of that adhesive that may have stuck to the inside. It should dry. Nothing should stick once it's all dry, but I like to just kind of, I'm not always the most patient person. Gee, shocker, I know. So therefore I like to kind of do that run over before I put it finally together. So you see how nice and thick I get it. It's, you know, just a matter of cutting out a lot and layering them. You don't have to do it this way. I like doing it this way. You can use craft foam. It will compress your craft foam, so you'll probably need like 2 sheets of craft foam run through. Just be aware of how much pressure you're putting through your machine. Every die cut machine is different. I can do it in my Vagabond too without any issues, but it does compress that craft foam down quite a bit, and it doesn't ever really seem to recover. So it probably gives me like a 2 to 3, depending upon the thickness of your paper, right? A 2 to 3 layered cover, I guess. So instead of cutting all of them, I would have probably only had to cut like 2. Sometimes you can do 1, especially with this shaker mix. We only did 1 for a class and it worked out all right. So for this one, I need to just add my acetate piece on top. So there we will have our shaker mix with our acetate. I'm trying to decide on my handle. I am going to put glue all the way around the top piece there, just so I don't have any shaker bits that decide to escape. Sorry, does anyone else say escape? Like like Dory from Finding Nemo. I used to have a Ford Escape, and that's what we called it, the Escape. Well, it was nicknamed Red, like Red Foreman, but we used to say the Escape, you know, because it was, yeah, that was the time frame it was purchased in. I can't believe Finding Nemo is that old. Is it really that old? Like 22 years old? Yikes. That's a few years ago. Okay, so for this one, I do have my back piece, and I will probably use my back piece. I think I'm gonna ink it up first, instead of, you know, trying to do like, I don't know, all the other things. What color ink do I want? We do ground espresso, which is going to be really dark. Or we could do tea dye, which is going to be light. We could actually do both, right? Let's do both. Let me grab. So this is just plain distress ink. Use the little cubes if you have the little cubes. If you are on top of it and you want to do this with your mixed media paper, and then kind of do, you know, a little bit more of like an ink smush with it, that would definitely be an option. So I'm going to go heavy down on the bottom, and then I'm going to bring in the tea dye. I'm not going to go all the way up to the top on this one. I'm going to go part way up. I'm just going to bring that tea dye kind of up a little bit, and then of course working it down. And then of course, because we have the option, you're not going to see this part. Okay, you're not really going to see this part, right? But I'm going to do just a little bit of sparkly drops on there, and we're going to let that dry. So while this is drying, let's bring in our mixed media pad. So you're not really going to see that probably when we're all done, but you could skip the shaker mix and just go with that, and I think it would be an adorably cute card. All right, for this one, I haven't decided if I should go. So I'm thinking this size, because I'm pretty sure this one is going to fit on there. Oh, but it kind of like cuts out a lot, doesn't it? So if we think this way, I could go a little bit bigger than that. I'm just going to do the whole piece, and then I'll figure out, I'll probably go like the next size up from that one. So I think we're going to just do We're just gonna do the big thing. Okay. So for this one, I am bringing in those leaves, and I'm just gonna do some stamp blocks on this one. I only suggest, I prefer a stamp block for this one because I'm doing just some random stamping, and it's not going to be like perfectly placed, right? And if they don't all come out, it's not a big deal. 100% not a big deal. Let's see. So for this one, I have to see what I have for ink colors here. Reds, yellows, and oranges. Okay. So I'm going to try to stick with kind of the colors that are in my paper pack. Ooh, I want a teal. Would be pretty. Let's see if I have a teal. Do I have... I don't know if I have a salvage patina. My colors are limited here. Evergreen Bough might be okay. This is my actual Inky&Scrappy like starter set. Let's see. We'll do Evergreen Bough. I don't have a lot of the distress inks in the React, like, you know, in the little ones, like just the plain distress. You could definitely go with your other ones, but you're going to get a different look. I hope that makes sense. So let's go with Dried Marigold, Curved Pumpkin. I think we might bring in the Evergreen Bough. And we could do Scattered Straw, maybe? Scattered Straw or Antique Linen. Do I want a green? Well, if we do the Evergreen Bough, the other option is to do a lime green color. I don't know if I have a lime green color. The Hero Arts Reactive ones would also give you... should give you a similar, we could do that one maybe. The Key Lime Fizz we'll try. I don't know. This one's kind of a whatever you have on hand. I'm going to try with this and see how far we get, okay? And, you know, here's the thing. If it turns out like garbage, it's just paper. Throw it away and start over. Or set it off to the side. Wait 10 minutes. No, wait a day. Come back to it. It'll look better tomorrow than it will today. This is something I can almost guarantee you. Why? Because I do it and I'll be like, oh, that looks really cool. And I hated it the day before. So just keep that in mind. If you hate it today, you might love it tomorrow or next week or next year. It's not, you know, it is what it is. Let's start with the yellow. So I'm just going to pick a leaf color and go with it. And I'm just going to go yellow. And I'm going to go fairly heavy with these, kind of on the bottom. I know I'm going to cut some of this, so I'm not totally worried about it. Do I want to do... I think we're good there. Okay. And then we're going to switch to the Dried Marigold. That looks like really bright orange in real life. I don't know why. That's going to be too close to my other one. Let's go Curved Pumpkin. And true random stamping is really just random stamping. I'm not worried about if I get a really great impression or not. I just kind of want some ink on my page. If I add the green, I'm afraid I'm going to get sludge. So let's do it this way, and I'm going to add water and then we'll dry it. And then we'll add the green on top. I think we're going to lose a lot of that yellow just because it's so light. What are you doing all the way up there like a straw? I like the orange. Well, you know, it is what it is. The yellow really got kind of, well, you can see some of it, but you just can't see a lot of it. Okay, let's clean this one off. I really like the maple leaf. I've always liked the maple leaf. Am I going to use the maple leaf again? Probably. Sorry, not sorry. And because this one is just such a darker tone than that orange, I don't want to overdo it. I know I'm cutting this down, so, and I'm going to have drying that one off. I think we're going to try just a little bit of green in here. I don't know if I'm going to like it. We'll find out momentarily. Do we re-wet it again? Drying it in between kind of helps your colors, shall I say, not mix and mingle and make mud as badly as maybe they would if you would have added them all at once and then hit them with water. I hope that makes sense. I'm not going to go as heavy with the water on this one, just because I don't want to make mud. I was looking for a towel underneath my chair, of course. Okay, I'm just gonna blot it so we don't have to listen to the thing dry again. It takes forever. Okay, so this one, I mean, it's all right. We're only gonna use a little part of it, so it looks a hot mess, but I kind of like the hot mess look. So now that it's dry, we're gonna hit it with a die cut. So we have options. We can use, Fawn has like the scrolly one. This one is the size up from the one I kind of started with. So it's one size up from that one. That's the one I would go with if I was doing that one. I kind of like this one, which is from MFT, which of course is no longer open, but other companies have the really rounded corner ones. I think Unity might have some. Tailored Expressions, I know, probably Scrapbook.com, all of those types kind of have them. So if you're using a smaller one, you can definitely kind of play with your placement, where you want to go if you're die cutting. If you're just using your paper trimmer, which is absolutely fine, just, you know, cut a little part out. Let's see, this one is going to measure 2 3/4 by 1, 2, 3 3/4, somewhere in there. That's where I would say it is. So keep that in mind. You know, I don't know why we got a straw, but we got a straw. It's probably going the opposite direction as the one in my cup. I don't know. Maybe it's going the same way. Shall we see? Oh, it is going the same way. Should we line it up? I mean, it's kind of funny. We could line it up. And there's so much of this that we're not going to see if we go this size. Maybe I should go one more size bigger, because I think you're going to lose a lot of it, aren't we? So if I go one size bigger, because we're going to have that brown piece on top. So I think we're going to go one size bigger. So we're going to go with the bigger one. I like it. And I'm cheating and not cutting it apart because time, and you don't want to watch that, I'm sure. So I'm going to run this through the die cut machine. Jamie, your mess is a hot desk. It's always a hot desk. We know this, right? Okay. So I did take the liberty of die cutting the largest one in that set out with this die as well. Just, you know, with a piece of pattern paper. So this, of course, is that Lawn Fawn one. And then we will remove this one as well. It's still not all the way dry, to be honest, because I didn't dry it after the last shot of water. Yeah, we're just gonna make it work. Now, this piece here, we could definitely throw on the inside for some added visual if you want. I'd probably do it on the top side because it would be probably weird on the other, but you know, you do what you want. You do you, boo. I guess we could have gone that way. And it looks like a tornado. It's funny. Okay. Probably not what some people want to hear. Okay. A crafty tornado. I am the sparkle tornado sometimes. So it's not totally out of character. Oh yeah, that's right. We're going this way. Okay. I'm just going to try to center it as best I can. This one, because my other piece is still kind of moist, I guess, I'm going to put it underneath an acrylic block. I like to pick up, like, I think I found these on clearance for like $2. So I picked up both of the ones that they had left because they're a nice, huge size. I know you can pick up huge, big blocks like that from, you know, I think scrapbooks.com has them. And a lot of times, because they're scrapbook.com named, they're cheaper. And so keep that in mind if you're looking for big acrylic blocks. I don't remember if theirs are I think theirs are the thick ones. I like the ones that have like little grooves. The close to my heart ones have grooves on them, and they're like a nice thick one. This one is Stampabilities, and it's thinner and it doesn't have the grooves, and it's harder to hold on to. At least for me, it's harder to hold on to. Anyways, back to our shaker. So for this one, we have this piece already done. We have our shaker already kind of created here. I'm gonna trim off this little piece that I messed up on. No harm, no foul. So for the shaker bits, right? So I'm gonna come in, this is the EK Success powder tool. I'm just gonna hit the outside. Do you have to do this? No, depending upon your glitter mix. Can I say it that way? Depending upon your glitter mix. If you're using Mylar type of glitter, it's just gonna cling to the front. Like if you watched our other shaker one, it literally just clung to the front, and I was very perturbed. But if you run this through, a lot of times that helps. The other thing is use dryer sheets work. I don't use dryer sheets, so do I have used dryer sheets to use? Nope. But that's one that I've heard that you can rub a used dryer sheet in there, and that works well. Shaker bits. I like to overfill. Okay, I like to fill, but I try not to overfill. Oh, I could use my handy dandy shaker filler. I try not to overfill it because it won't move around then, right? So keep those things in mind. I'm gonna try to get some beads with this one just because I like the noise that the beads make, and it usually helps. I'm pretty sure this is going to cause some issues. It is what it is. I like to cause issues too, so we'll do. I want to do one more little scoop. I also have a gorgeous blended ink drop background, so it's not going to be a huge deal. Do I want to use coffee beans or hearts? The coffee beans are thinner, so I'm going to go with them for this shaker mix. The little hearts would be cute as well. I'm just going to do one little scoop of coffee beans in there. Do I want more beads? Probably. Oh, good time. Let's see here. I want brown seed beads. Where are tealy? Well, those are black, I think. Tortoise maybe? Yep, tortoise. So these are brownish. They're like a darker brown. I'm just going to add a few more of those in there, just because that'll give me the shakety shake that I like in them. The other option, so Michael's has specialty glitter, right? So these are like pearlies, clear transparent ones, and they're like little bubbles. Those would be really cute too. I might have some other ones too. I have a bunch downstairs. I've been doing resin craft. Yeah. Why? Because, you know, sometimes paper craft isn't enough. It really is enough for me. I like dabbling in other crafts. Does anyone else have like multiple crafting, shall we say, hobbies besides paper craft? We could start listing them. It's a list, okay? I did make my own paper for a while. That's fun. I still have the stuff. Someday I might make my own paper again. It's thick, chunky, like you can do the dried flowers in it. It's really pretty. I just really had a hard time using said mix or said paper because I was like, I made it. It was pretty. You know, it's one of a kind, right? Hard to use, one of a kind. So I have that. I'm going to ink it. I'm going to glue it. I'm going to press it. I'm going to let it dry. That's how we roll around here. Okay, technical difficulties. I glued the back on. I don't know when it stopped. Sorry, the card was full. I even like uploaded it to the computer, and then I forgot to format it. My block for a little while. I will move that off to the side. I would suggest doing the inside of your card before putting that on the front of your card, just because you have the extra thickness with your shaker, and so therefore, you know, you kind of have, it makes it a little bit more difficult, especially if you're using clear stamps, to get a good impression without having to, you know, play extensively. I hope that makes sense. I haven't decided if I'm doing anything on the front of my card. Let's go. Wishing you a beautiful. To just have a day would work. We'll do wishing you a beautiful holiday. Wishing you a beautiful. Oh, I was going to do fall. Lining them up, kind of, sort of, hoping I have them mostly straight, kind of where I want them on there. Because I'm doing 3 and I'm going that way, I'm going to adjust before I pick them up. I think we're pretty straight. Okay. Making sure my cardstock is towards the bottom, and I'm going to come in with my VersaFine Onyx Black It's my favorite for stamping sentiments. And there we go with that one. Now, keep in mind we had that extra piece floating around here somewhere. And you could totally put that over the top like that if you wanted to. I would probably throw it on the opposite side. And then, you know, if you had like a little critter or something you wanted to put in there, that would be an option. I don't know. I don't know if I want to do, usually I do a stamped image. I'm not feeling a stamped image today. Oh, I could do, that's what I could do. I will just go in with this one. So we will do the scattered straw. And then we will do the orange. And you can do those with your stamp platform. Just keep in mind you're probably going to end up having to clean them in between each one, reposition, and go that route. I am going to add in the Evergreen Bough. Here's hoping it doesn't look totally out of place, but just to kind of tie in that front color mix with the inside color mix. Okay. At least we know there was yellow on the front now because it's on the inside of the card. Okay. Making sure that's dry before I close this one up. Where's my scoring or my, I don't know. You know this is how I roll, right? Okay. Whatever's on my desk. Out of sight, out of mind. Insight, I'll make a use out of it. So for my card front here, I'm just going to glue this onto the front. Feel free to put a different colored paper behind, like your whole card front would be pretty. I'm fine with the white. It goes with this piece of white. It just kind of ties all that white in there. And so I'm good with it. I'm not overly concerned by that. So now we have this one and this one. Maybe. I can't pick it up today. Do I want to do? I think I want to bring in that tealy color for that piece, possibly. Oh, I have this one, right? So I really don't want to do teal. I thought about just doing this off to the side and coming in with like some jute twine or the little hemp, the thinner hemp twine would be really cute on this one because it's fall and I just think that just goes really well with it. We did this one. I was trying to see if there's one on here that would maybe. You could do the thanks a latte. Warm wishes. I guess we do warm wishes because we did have a beautiful fall. So let's do warm wishes on this one. And I'm just going to cheat and use my little stamp block here. I mean, they're clear, so you should be able to line them up okay. I'm also going to use, I'm just going to use the ground espresso. Oh, I was going to do, darn it. I was going to do some ink blending around the outside of this one and some brown, and I forgot. So feel free to do that now. I forgot it. Maybe you'll remember it. That would have been cute. Pretty. Whatever. Okay, so I'm going to do warm wishes on that one. Oh, there's like a little teeny tiny leaf on here. How'd you lose the stamp? I used it. Good golly, that's a little tiny leaf. I'm going to go with the pumpkin. Oh, those are tiny. Okay, I am going to clean that one and put it back on the sheet before I lose it. Yep. Okay. I love these little tiny sets, but oh man, they're little. Do I want anything else? Oh, that's cute too. Okay, I need to take those out and use them one of these days. Ooh, I have that little tiny heart. I think we're just gonna color this one yellow. So let's find our yellow. I'm just gonna go with a pale yellow from, I think primary yellow is in, so we're gonna use the primary yellow for this one, which is in that 60 set of Ohuhus. And for my ribbon, I'm really kind of leaning towards the orange shade. I want to say reddish yellow, which is why our $4.92. Whoops, I think we're going with that one. Okay. So I'm going to start on my outside on this one, let it dry, and then I'm also going to start on the center of the bow here, and then I'm going to let that dry, and then I'm going to come and I'm just going to do the whole kit and caboodle all at once. The stuff that's already been colored once is going to be darker because it's already got one layer of color on it, so it's going to hit it and kind of give it that second layer of color, and so that's going to make it look like it's got a little more to it. And let's see if I want to like just let those slide on there. I only want to put glue on my two little corner pieces, or like just on the sides here, because I kind of want it to, those tags to be able to move a little bit. We might end up tying them down eventually, but ultimately that's my goal, so I can move them into position. I'm going to tie that closer to the top just because I don't want to cover up all of my beautiful shaker bits. Yeah, we're going to end up having to glue them down, which is fine, I think. This is where if I would have used twine, I would have just wrapped the twine around the top part, and then those could have like moved willy-nilly like. And I'm going to lift this one, put a dot there, add this one onto that one, and I'm thinking I'm going to hold these down on the sides. I'm going to move this one over here. Move this one so it's kind of close, but you can kind of see it. Ooh, I bet if we pop them up with foam, which is going to add another layer. So we're going to use the thin stuff. This is 1 millimeter thick. It's fairly thin. I don't think it's going to add much more bulk to the card. I mean, you know, we've already got a bunch there. I'm just going to cut 2 little tiny pieces, one for each little thing. I'm going to hold the top part. I'm going to pop this one here. And then, whoops, don't stick, not yet. Pop this one kind of on the back of the first one and the back of the second one here. So it's kind of all on the one, right? But it'll work. Okay. And then we're just gonna kind of flop those down and in place. Let's move that heart over a little bit so you can actually see that it's a heart. Maybe. There we go. Okay. Maybe do that part before you commit. Okay. Once I have that down, I'm just going to add this little piece on here. I haven't decided on placement yet. So I'm just putting a dot in the middle, and then we can decide if you want to do it there, if you want to do it like placement. Okay. I like that, and then we can go with the bow right on top, huh? Oh, right by the straw too. That was unplanned, but it works. Okay. So we have those ones stuck down. I think we're good there. Shaker. And then we have the handle to do yet. I know the handle's around here somewhere. Do I want to do the handle? Popped up. I'm going to take another little strip of this, and I'm just going to kind of, oh, look, I've got a magnet tail, and we're catching things. How did it all go wrong, Jamie? Well, there's a lot of rice of it, you know, whatever. It's called life. Okay. If you peel off your backing for this one, it makes it sticky on both sides, which is not always the greatest, but it helps bend, or bends a lot easier, and you can follow your curve a lot better. So if that's, because yeah, it just kind of makes it a lot easier to shape around curves and such. That's a garbage piece. Okay. So I'm going to glue down this one, keeping in mind that my little handle is going to go over here. I've shaken my shaker, made sure it shook without pieces falling out. I still think it's hilarious that the straw kind of has its own little shadow, I guess. And then we're going to add this one. Well, maybe we're going to add this one. I want it to kind of connect. Okay. So there we have our little handle and our Warm Wishes mug. We probably could have gone all the way up to the top with some of those leaves, like done some further up. That's something I would do next time, just because I think it needs a little more interest up there, because I didn't get a lot of running. I could have done splatter. We can still do splatter. Watch me. Okay, this one, we have this one. And then I need, where's that extra piece? We'll throw this one in there. And then we're gonna do some splatter after the fact. I didn't think I needed splatter because I was planning on going around it with that brown, and of course I forgot to do that part. Yep. Ooh, no, don't do the gold. Let's see, there we go. Well, that's not the brush I wanted either. I wanted my lone one, my nice splattery brush. Oh well. I find 4 brushes on my desk and none of them are the one I want. I know that the other one is here somewhere. Okay. Do I want to do... Let's do a little bit of orange. A little bit of yellow. I don't think we're going to see the yellow a whole lot. And a little bit of everything now. So I'm just smooshing them on my desktop. I'm going to add that Winsor & Newton that's mixed into my water here. And I'm just going to add a little squirt of that onto them. And then I'm just going to kind of add just a little bit of splatter onto the top part around my coffee drink. Do you have to do this part? Definitely not. Is this an extra because I wasn't happy? Yes. Don't do like I do. Take that ground espresso and your blending brush, hit the outside. I mean, I could have done it after the fact, but I just wanted a nice little part there. And yes, we're gonna get some splatter other places. I guess it doesn't matter. Get over it. And I need to clean my brush. And we'll get a little bit of green on there. Okay, I think we're good. We only got a little bit of splatter on our cup, so I think we're all right. I like it better because it's got the splatter on it. Anyways, there it is. Sorry this one took so long. This is my process. That's what I do. So, you know, it's kind of how it goes. I just didn't know where I wanted to go today for Let's Start Stamping. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. You know, comment down below. You know, it's all good. I like the end result. I like the background. I think I need to do it further up next time. But other than that, I kind of like that mushy ink process. I could have hit it again with, you know, stamping over the top of them if I would have gone a little bit more water. But ultimately, I really like that one. And if I was going to go with, maybe it would have turned out better if I'd have gone see-through, like the open stamp and not the full solid one, and then hit them with the color after the fact and then restamped over the outline with like the ground espresso or tea dye maybe. What's the other one? Vintage photo in a distress ink would have been, you know, good to go over them, and then just hand paint. Or if you have the one that's got the outline and the inside solid, I'd have gone with the outline first and then hit it with the solid after I was done doing that water part. So all options. There we go. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Have an amazing rest of your day. Keep getting inky. Bye.